Hey guys, it's Agita Plum here,
Hi.
and we're looking again at the weapon diversity, but this time we're looking at our range weapons.
So in the range beta, we'll be looking at short bows, shield bows, 1H crossbows, 2H crossbows, throwing knives, and throwing axes.
It's the same as last time, we'll just be using basic abilities, just the weapons themselves, and we've got Rune Metrics up to measure our DPS. So with short bows, they're almost become like a melee weapon, where the closer you are to your opponent, the more damage you do, and it's determined by how many tiles away. So if your target's 7 tiles away, you're only going to be dealing 100% of their weapon damage, but if you're right beside your target, like 1 tile away, you're going to be doing 106%. You're getting an extra 6% more damage just by being closer to your actual target. So here we can just see that we are 1 tile away, 3 tiles away, and 7 tiles away, I believe.
So you should be able to see a difference. Hopefully the one that you're within melee distance should be the most DPS, and 7 tiles away will be the least. I guess it's an interesting mechanic. The problem with it might be when you're in melee range, you're going to take more damage in that sense.
Yeah, that's the whole point of a range weapon though, so you always stay out of melee distance, so... You can see there's some difference. You know, 30,000 damage when we're up close, 28,000, just shy of 28,000 when we're kind of middle range, and about 26,000 when we're quite far away from it, so there is a difference in DPS. And this is just looking at the same setup, 1 tile away, 3 tiles away, and 7 tiles away, but just in a normal game. And just to compare as DPS, so DPS there should look very similar to the when you're about 7 tiles away, I would say, because it's at 100% then.
Actually, yeah. I mean...
That's standard DPS across the board there, yeah.
Strange enough, there is a slight difference, but I wonder if that's...
Actually, I would say that's closer to when you're 3 tiles away, actually.
Exactly. Because it was 25, well, 26, 27, almost 29, 28, and then 30, wasn't it? So yeah, it's quite similar to the...
used at the end of the day here, yeah.
That's true. So the next thing we're going to have a look at is shield bows. The shield bow's effect that's getting added in the beta is defense abilities cost 20% less adrenaline to use.
Yeah, so it's less about the overall DPS here. What we're actually looking at is just the adrenaline gain. And then we already started to get the thresholds that came up well before the normal. And now again watching the beta. And you've already got the ultimates that you're ready to use. And now the ultimates are ready to use.
So the ultimates are ready to use about 80% adrenaline and 40% for the thresholds. That's pretty good. So in this one we're looking at the 1H crossbow. The effects of this in the beta is a 2% chance while using a basic ability to use the same basic ability at the same time for 1 tick after. It doesn't generate adrenaline or increase a global cooldown on the action bar.
2% is quite a small thing, so we might not see, but we've got our adrenaline bars up. And we're just trying to see if it looks like we're using the same attack twice basically, and it won't fire off that ability, but you'll still see it attack.
You've got them pretty much in sync with Revo, so you should see something happen.
Basically, I'm waiting to see if an ability is supposed to trigger, but doesn't, but the attack still comes, and then it, circle around for the actual ability to be used again.
It has made a difference in DPS, so it must have happened. Just really quite hard to see that one.
Very difficult to see because so much is triggering and flicking on and off there. It's very difficult to see. 2%, it's like we've said, it's so small though, but it can make all the difference there. And that was just using 1 of the Ascension crossbows. We've now got the test with the 2 crossbows just to see if there is. So we've got another chance to see if we can see this firing off again.
Yeah, the problem is that something you think might be firing off actually isn't, so it's quite difficult to...
It's difficult to see if the ability's actually doing it, but I suppose the proof at the end of the day is how much DPS you're doing. I'm already looking at the graphs and can see there's a difference.
It would be nice if they had like a buff icon for when it happened,
yes.
Like a little... Again, difference there.
Yeah, so something certainly happened there, because that's, again, quite a big difference.
It's still a difference in DPS. I mean, 4K is... It could be, getting your Slayer task done 10-15 minutes quicker, that sort of thing. So
we've now got the two-handed crossbow, and it's effective. You stand still for at least 3 seconds, you're going to gain a 5% accuracy buff, which is lost if you move, but you need to move quite a bit, I've noticed, for the buff to actually disappear. So there you notice that the buff has just come up there.
So is this going to be something that will be useful if you're doing like quick kills at something? So say for instance a boss that you just stick, but if you're doing like giant mole, Greg, something that runs about, it's not a good idea. There. Exactly.
So you notice there that the icon came off actually as I was running there, and then it's back on again because I stood still for so long. So you've actually got a little bit of a grace period from running about for it to stay on and before it comes off.
Not a huge overall difference, but still a little bit
more DPS.
I suppose plus 5% accuracy isn't a huge buff either, so the max hit's pretty much the same. It's just general damage overall's higher, which is I suppose what more accuracy would do. Throwing knives. So throwing knives effects is -5 levels in weapon damage and accuracy, but the global cooldown is now 1.2 seconds rather than 1.8. So basically you think maybe you'd be able to build up adren quicker with throwing knives. That might be...
I think that's with the reduced timelines that you'll be able to speed up how much your adrenaline gains.
I mean, essentially if you're normally hitting every 1.8 but you're then hitting every 1.2, then it should mean that you'll get an extra hit in every so many seconds, yeah. Well, that's made a huge difference.
That's a massive difference after a minute. That's gone from 29,000 damage to 42,000 damage. That was incredibly a lot more.
Especially as it says that the accuracy and damage have reduced. It's just that the ticks are going up. I mean, I don't know if that's intended, if that's what it is. The max hits are roughly the same. In fact, the max hit the beta is higher.
Yeah.
Which you'd imagine would be lower with the 65 accuracy and 65 damage.
So with the thrown axes, basically you're just getting extra adrenaline with each time that you attack. That gives you 2% extra adrenaline with your main-handed, 1% extra adrenaline with your offhand. So
with thrown axes, you should be able to essentially get to ultimates and thresholds a lot quicker.
You can see the adrenaline is already increased by 3%, actually, exactly what we're thinking, because we've got the main hand and offhand there.
So you could a lot quicker get to, it would actually be quite good for getting to your thresholds, a lot more damage over time that way. Obviously, just firing off basics, you shouldn't really see too much of a difference, to be fair.
Yeah, I would say that's very similar.
Yeah, that's
But again, it was just using the basic abilities as you said, but at least it could allow you to go up to thresholds and ultimate a lot quicker.
Exactly, and you can see that.
Thanks everyone for watching, hopefully you've enjoyed that. We'll do another video up for the magic abilities that have been changed.
And don't forget to watch our previous video where we did the melee weapons in the beta.
And I'll be linked below.
Thank you everybody for watching then.
Bye bye.
Bye.